bitter cold, blizzards, and whistling winter winds. The people in Quebec embrace and celebrate their unrelenting winters. And the food. They take their food very seriously and are famous for it. I took a journey to Montreal, Trois-Rivières, and Quebec City to learn more about this distinct province in Canada. Je m'appelle Alex Smyth et je suis le journaliste pour AMI-télé. My name is Alex Smyth and I'm a reporter for AMI-télé, and this is Postcards from Quebec. Schwartz's is world famous for its Montreal smoked meat sandwich. And rumor has it, they also created the Montreal steak spice. Naturally, it was an important first step when landing in Quebec. It holds a lot of history and is currently co-owned by Celine Dion. I sat down with second-generation manager to get the meat of the story.
Je m'appelle Frank Silva, je suis le gérant chez Schwartz.
His name is Frank Silva, and he is the manager of Schwartz's.
Well, we've been around for 90 years now. Actually, we celebrated our anniversary December 31st, and it's a meeting place. People come here. It's a small little place, quaint. You share tables, and they can be from all different parts of the world. By the end of the meal, everybody's talking, everybody exchanging numbers. This is like the meeting place in Montreal. It's a special place, Schwartz's.
90 years, how has it been able to sustain that success through that entire period?
Well, I like to say the whole world's changing except Schwartz's, right? So we're consistent. We have good food, simple meat, potatoes. No microwaves, no espressos, no desserts, no alcohol. Just simple, good food. People walk in and they sit down. I says, first time, right? Says, you can tell? Obviously. They thought Schwartz's was a huge place. It's famous, but it's just a small little diner. That's all it is. Bring Alex a sandwich, please.
Perfect, thank you.
Enjoy.
Okay, first off, before I dig into this is massive. This is not what I expected. I expected, a couple slices of meat, but there's got to be at least like 15 or 20 in here.
There's a couple slices of bread.
I have to take a moment to just enjoy the smell of the sandwich. It's just the spices with the pepper and everything. The mustard, it just fits so perfectly with it, and it's just a symphony for the nose.
People walk into the restaurant, they're, oh my God, it smells so great. I said, wait till you try it. Even tastes better.
Alrighty,
Go
time
for
to
it.
dig in. That's amazing.
I know, I've heard it before.
Yeah. That's why you come to Montreal, and this is why when I first thought about coming here, I was already drooling because I wanted to try the Montreal smoked meat here. I'm not the only one who made Schwartz's a priority while in Montreal. Autographed pictures of celebrities and politicians form a mosaic on the walls of the tiny establishment. Schwartz's has been center stage in more ways than one.
Somebody came up with the idea, a musical.
A musical.
A musical about Schwartz's. And it was actually quite funny, and it's smoked meat. With 16 original songs, and it was at the Centaur Theater. It only came second to Mamma Mia. So there's a lot of history in Schwartz's, right?
Yeah.
A lot of history, a lot of owners, 90 years, a lot of interesting people came and went. A lot of lives been touched. Prime Ministers, Jean Chrétien come here. Trudeau used to come here with his son, which is now the Prime Minister of Canada. You name it.
Do you think that Quebec, does it fit properly within Canada? It's destined to pair together with the rest of Canada?
Absolutely. It's a perfect match. I mean, it gives it a different flavor. You don't want it to be all the same. You have to have some different people in the country to make it interesting. It's very different. The food is different. I mean, even chains that open up in Quebec have to alter their recipes to cater to Quebec, because Quebec has a different palate, they say,
Well, and I guess that just speaks volumes then to Schwartz, is that you guys have been able to survive for 90 years now.
Yes, and we don't change.
I'm going in for another bite here.
Go for it.
It's delicious, and it's simple.
That's right.
Not overcomplicated.
That's right.
It's meat, it's rye bread, a bit of mustard, What else do you need? I'm learning that Quebec adds flavor to Canada in more ways than one. But what does Quebec mean to Frank?
Quebec to me is home.
More to come on Postcards from Quebec. You're watching Postcards from Quebec. Even a warm meal and a full belly did not prepare me for my first excursion outdoors. But I'm meeting up with AMI-télé's reporter, and I don't want to leave her out in the cold.
Je m'appelle Jessie Archambault et je suis journaliste pour AMI.télé.
Her name is Jessie Archambault, and she is a reporter for AMI-télé. Hello, Montreal weather. Now to find Jessie in this mess of snow. Jessie? Jessie, are you out here? Jessie!
Alex! Waving my arms, Alex. I'm over here.
Jessie, is that you?
It is me. Hey, Alex. I'm so happy you made it out to Montreal and you braved the storm.
Yeah, quite a storm. I feel like it's a blizzard right now. The snow's blowing in my face. I'm freezing cold, but I'm here.
You're here, ready to experience Quebec winter, lots of activities. We're at Fête des Neiges, and I had a full schedule for you. Unfortunately, it's closed today.
But isn't Fête des Neiges Festival of the Snow? And
Sure
it's
is.
closed because of the snow.
Yes, well, like you said, it is a blizzard, so we're the only two souls out here. But we will make the most of it and have fun and play outside.
Okay, we'll try to find something that's still open.
The first word you have to learn in French before we head out is fermé.
Fermé.
Fermé, which means closed. So we
It's
might
closed.
encounter it quite a bit today.
So, Fête des Neiges is fermé.
Exactly. So let's go find some stuff to do.
Okay, let's go. Montrealers love their winters and know how to play in the snow. So luckily, we did find some activities despite the polar vortex.
So Alex, I brought you here to Mount Royal, which is a mountain right in the middle of Montreal, so very close to downtown. And I thought we could go snowshoeing all the way to the top today.
Okay, but before we get started, what is the French word for snowshoe?
Are you ready?
Yes.
Raquette.
Raquettes. Okay, so we're going to be raquetting all the way up to the top?
How Franglish of you. Yes, we will be raquetting all the way to the top, and you'll see there's a nice surprise at the top.
Okay, well, I'm excited, so let's get the snowshoes on and let's head up there.
Let's do it.
And away we go. So how far to the top?
I have no idea.
Well, that's part of the surprise now, isn't it?
Yes.
My snowshoes come off.
Oh, I lost mine.
I have to admit, it was a little more challenging than I thought. And I also struggled to keep up with Jessie. I think she's done this before.
Now that we got our raquette back on, we can actually make our way up.
So, what's the French word for freezing?
Freezing?
Yes.
It would be gelé.
Chilly.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
I am
je suis
freezing.
chilly. I am very, very chilly right now.
me too. We're getting pretty close now.
Okay, good, because I could use a break.
Me too. So Alex, we've made it. This is your surprise.
I mean, it's a great view of the city. Don't get me wrong, but
It's a beautiful view of the city. We're at the highest point of Mount Royal.
okay, I do appreciate coming here. It is a bit difficult to see in the midst of the snowstorm, but I
Yes.
still appreciate the view, and I appreciate that you brought me here, because this is
Great.
really special. On a clear day from the top of Mount Royal, you can see the city from a different perspective. And it's a great spot to see the famous mural of the legendary Leonard Cohen. As much as I love being up here, it's pretty cold and
It
windy.
is. It
Why
is.
don't we head back down and try some other activities?
Perfect.
I was looking forward to something a little more fast-paced to get my heart pumping and to keep me warm. And maybe bring back some childhood memories.
I'm really excited. I haven't done tobogganing in years, so very excited to be sharing that experience with you.
Yeah, we got our orange crazy carpets. We've got a big hill to sled down. But before we do, what is the French word for toboggan?
It would be glissade. Faire des glissades.
Okay, so we're going to be glissading down this hill.
Exactly.
I don't think that was right, but I'm going to trust you. Anyways, we're going to meet at the bottom. We'll compare time, see who was faster.
Perfect.
Okay, let's
go.
I'll meet you down at the bottom, Jessie. Yeah.
You've got this, Alex.
Well, I made it about a third of the way.
You're blocking the way.
Try to do better than me.
Okay. I've got this.
Come on, Jessie, you got this.
I've got this.
Yay, Jessie.
Yay.
Jesse, there's too much snow for patinage. There's too much snow for tobogganing.
Yep. Lots of snow in Montreal today.
Yeah.
But how about we just make snow angels?
Let's do it.
Effortless.
Ah.
I think I have snow in my pants.
Join the club. As fun as snow angels are, snow down my pants is a sure sign to head indoors for a warm-up. And when you're with a local, they take you to the best hidden gems in the city.
Je m'appelle Simon Rawson. Je suis préparateur, bagel, etc.
His name is Simon Rawson, and he is the owner of Bagels, etc. Well, Jesse, it's good to be out of the cold and snowy conditions of Montreal.
For sure, and I'm so excited because we're at Bagel, etc., which has been on my bucket list for quite some time. A lot of friends have recommended this place, and I wanted you, Alex, to experience a true Montreal-style bagel. I haven't tried a New York bagel, but I've been told it was a lot of bread. A lot of bread in that, much bigger as well. Here's our cup of coffee that will warm us up.
Yes.
And the Montreal-style bagel is boiled and then baked, but boiled in the water that has honey in it, so it has a little sweeter aspect to it.
Now I noticed on the placemat, bon appetit. What's that translate to?
Okay, literally it would mean good appetite,
Okay.
but you usually use the phrase bon appétit to say enjoy.
Oh, thank you.
Here's our Montreal bagels.
Oh, it looks delicious. It smells delicious.
Sure does.
Our bagels are served with cream cheese. Is that quite common for Montreal?
Pretty common. Yeah.
I'm gonna tear a little piece off for myself. Okay. This is seriously good.
It is. Have the crunchiness of the sesame seeds.
I don't think I've ever had a bagel like this. I like the addition of the honey. I don't know why all the bagels aren't doing this.
They should. They should make all the bagels like that. But let's not tell New York that.
Located on the trendy St. Laurent Street, Bagel Etc. owner Simon Rawson sat down with us, and I had to ask him the most important question of the day. Pretty sure I know the answer already, but Montreal style bagel or New York style bagel? What's your preference?
Montreal.
Why?
Yeah. I just like the texture of the inside, the more doughiness. And I have customers, whenever customers come up, and I always ask, oh, where are you from, this and that, and like, oh, New York. So I say, oh, you came up for a real bagel. That's nice, come on. I always tease them a little bit about that.
Bagels Etc. has its share of regulars, but one truly stands out, the late Leonard Cohen, who lived across the street.
So I'd be outside having my cigarette and coffee in the front of the doorway, and I'd see his window views us. So I would see the curtain kind of peek over, and he'd be looking to see if I'm there and open yet. He was an early riser, and then I'd wave him, from across the street, come on over. And then he'd come over, and it would just be us two. We'd have a coffee in the morning. He'd have his allongé, and then a second allongé outside with me, and then come inside, and then we'd have a couple more together, until I actually opened the doors for the clients at 7:30. And the thing that I noticed is if anybody had come up to him, no matter where they were sitting in the restaurant, he would look around, he'd find them, and he'd walk back to them and say, thank you, friend.
After our chat with Simon, Jesse and I reflected on the late musician. Leonard Cohen was such an icon that I loved his work, and looking around the restaurant where we are, it's so eclectic, it's so funky that you can draw inspiration from almost anywhere, whether it's the strange artwork, the old style photography. Maybe this was where he wrote Hallelujah right after he took a bite of his bagel.
Exactly.
Quebec to me means bagels.
While visiting Montreal, I couldn't miss the opportunity to explore the old city, so Jesse led me down the snow-covered streets. We followed in the footsteps of many great figures before us. The city, built on the exploration of Jacques Cartier and Samuel de Champlain, still proudly displays remnants of its early years. Formed in 1642, Montreal originally served as a fur trading settlement. Now, the city has grown to become the fourth largest French-speaking city in the world.
This is one of my favorite spots in the city, Old Montreal. I love the architecture and all the stone, and every storefront is so different.
Some notable architecture includes the Notre Dame Basilica. Its U-shaped design is formed by the church's two impressive towers. The stone buildings of Old Montreal evoke a feeling of stepping into the past, and the snow has turned it into a winter wonderland.
It has such a different feeling to it.
Well, and all the small streets, only in 2 cars wide. I'm sure it's cobblestone underneath all
It
this
is,
snow.
it sure is. Quebec to me is my own personal snow globe.
Old Montreal was more beautiful than I imagined, but the hours in the bitter cold, with the whipping wind and snow, built up the appetite and drew us back indoors. I respect the Montreal winter, but I really respect its food.
Je m'appelle Michael Lafaille. Je suis le propriétaire du Cuisine Restaurant.
His name is Michael Lafay, and he is the owner of Cuisine Resto Bar.
So Michael, what's the special today?
Today we have a gluten-free plantain burger that's been added on our menu since 3 months now. So first we start with peeling the plantains. Cut it in half. And I'm gonna fry those bad boys. We're gonna deep fry them. Fried plantains. Haitian food eat a lot of fried food.
So you're dicing up some onions. What is that going to be for?
That's gonna be for the minced meat.
Okay.
Just a little bit. We use beef. Then we put the spices, salt and pepper, cumin, homemade hot spice sauce. So this is called chalet. That means hot in Creole. We also use our homemade mixed spices. So usually this has to stay in the fridge for at least 15 to 20 minutes. So you make sure you have
So that all the flavor goes
the
into
flavor
the meat?
and the shape. Yeah.
It's not going to fall apart.
It's not gonna fall apart. There you go. You a good cook, huh? Already got one prep, ready to go. We're gonna put that on the grill. Plantains ready. And after we're gonna squash them. So I use a Haitian plantain press.
So you just press it on top and
Press
squeeze
on
down
top.
the
Yeah,
plantain?
that's gonna make it crispy outside and soft inside. It's just a wooden piece. You could use anything else at home. You could use a dish, as long as it's hard.
Okay, my stomach is rumbling. Let's speed this up. Mike then refried the squashed plantains, added onion and cheese on top of the burger. Then, using the twice fried plantains as a bun, he topped it with spicy mayo, that juicy burger, tomato, lettuce, and spicy Haitian coleslaw called pickles.
Ready to go.
There's nothing like a Creole cooking lesson to add some warmth to the day. My cold hand struggled to cut the burger to share it with Jessie, but her giggles showed that she didn't mind. After all, she did get the bigger piece.
So, what do you think?
Very good, and I took a bite that was way too big.
Messy, but delicious. I'm getting
It
all the
is.
different flavors, the different spices. Some of the
Yep.
that Creole spice you put on the burger, and now that spicy
Pickles.
pickles. Yeah, that's really coming through, and it's really, really good. I really like this.
The burger is not a traditional meal in the Haitian culture.
Okay.
This is our creation, and we do a lot more.
So being visually impaired, did that come to play at all in opening your own business?
Well, yeah, definitely, because being visually impaired, it's really hard to find a job. And I just wanted to prove that I could do something good for the visually impaired community and the Haitian community also.
What were some of the unique challenges you faced as being a restaurant owner and chef while dealing with vision loss?
The hardest thing is when you have regulars, let's say, that walk in and they're like, "Hey, Michael, how you doing?" "I'm good, yourself." But not necessarily recognizing them unless they come 2 meters.
Because your restaurant's pretty long and
It's
narrow,
pretty
so when they're at the
long.
door and you're at the bar,
Yeah, that's
it's quite the distance to be able to make out who it is.
it is. I've done a couple of mistakes already, once or twice on the bills, let's say, with the Interact machine, because sometimes I feel bad to always go close by. But now I'm more comfortable with it because I don't want to make any any mistakes. You know, if you $100 bill and you put $10 on the end, you don't check.
Do you think that your restaurant is part of the new food scene?
Yeah, definitely. I think we really underestimate Haitian food. Haitian food is known more as a fast food, only fried food type of. So we want to push Haitian food and help the Haitian community. Once a year we go to Haiti to help out people. We're supporting somebody that has a school out there. We also support the Haitian artists. We have a lot of paintings that we sell for them.
Yeah, I noticed that your walls are very colorful.
Yeah, definitely.
Is it true that you've had a few well-known clients come in here?
Yes. First off, we started with Wyclef Jean. Wyclef Jean is a Haitian international artist that he came, basically he did our grand opening in August 18. Beside Wyclef Jean, we've had a few people that they even come as a regulars also to do takeout most of the time.
Well, like I have to say, just taking a couple of those bites, you can count me as a regular. If I was living in Montreal, I would be here every week coming
Well, I'll
by.
be back. I'll be a regular now.
Learning how someone with vision loss is overcoming the challenges of running their own business brought warmth to my heart. And I've learned that Quebec has many flavors worth exploring.
Quebec to me is my second home.
Jessie and I had a long and fun-filled day together, but I wasn't ready to say goodbye just yet. Although excited to head on to Trois-Rivières in Quebec City, we decided to take in some ice skating under the stars. Jessie, thank you so much. You've taken me around Montreal. I've seen a bunch of the sights. We tried some delicious food, done a bunch of fun activities, some more successful than others, but thank you for being my guide for this leg of the trip.
Well, I'm really happy that you came to Montreal and we got to experience a lot of things together, and I'm sure you'll have a blast in Quebec City. Make sure you try out one of the caribou drinks, but just one, not more than one. One's enough.
Okay, I'll add that to the list for sure. Hey, we're still on the ice. Let's go do some skating before it's over.
Let's do it.
I learned a couple of new French words as I left Jessie to continue my journey. Au revoir and mon ami. Goodbye, my friend. Thanks for the memories. Stay tuned for more Postcards from Quebec. Welcome back to Postcards from Quebec. Halfway between Montreal and Quebec City lies the town of Trois-Rivières. Small and unassuming, Trois-Rivières is representative of what Quebec is like outside of the major cities. But hidden within its charm lies the longest operated jail in Canada, which held men and women from 1822 to 1986. This is the type of history you don't find in your travel books.
Je m'appelle Jacinthe Ducharme et je suis guide à la vieille prison de Trois-Rivières.
Her name is Jacinthe Ducharme, and she is a guide at the old prison of Trois-Rivières.
In all the 164 years, we never closed the prison for reparation or to change equipment, so the condition stays almost the same in those years.
So all the prisoners there were living in conditions that were about 160 years old towards the end.
But in the first year of the jail, prisoners, they were allowed to do small job, like work in the garden or cut woods for the heat. And one day, a prisoner was asked to do the handle of the axe, and he asked to have another axe to have a model to do the handle, but he bring it back in the cell, and then during the night, he killed the two other inmates in his cell.
That is just shocking. And how many prisoners stayed in this jail?
Yes, at first time they wanted to build the prison for 30 prisoners. Most of the time there were hundreds in the prison. One of the worst thing, it was the privacy that was absent in the prison because it was overcrowded. in the cell, in the shower, in the common area, everywhere.
Following the path that new prisoners take, Jacinth led me to the 7 by 10 foot bullpen, covered in graffiti, a holding area too small for the 20 men it often held.
They're gonna stay for a long time, 18 to 20 hours, so they can't go outside of the bullpen. So they're gonna use the same bucket that is in the bullpen, so 20% are gonna share the same toilets.
Once out of the bullpen, the men were led to their small cell, shared between 3 to 4 people, and the women were led to a single cell, often shared with their children, and one bucket, a toilet to share between the family.
Now you're in the reproduction of the women's cell, so it's around 4 feet by 7 feet tall.
Yeah, so I'm standing in here. I don't have a lot of room. Like, I can barely squeeze between the bed and the wall, and I can maybe take 3 steps. The realities of this prison are shocking, and I needed to know more about this dark history. Why do you think the conditions were so bad? Why wasn't an effort made to improve it earlier on in the lifespan of this prison?
At this time, I think it was a big mentality that if we give hard condition, then people were traumatized, so they won't want to commit other crimes to come back.
This prison didn't only serve to hold inmates, but it also served as a grounds for execution and public execution. Can you talk a bit about that?
So we had 7 hanging in this jail. So the 3 first one were officially public. After that, they were not supposed to be public, but we have proof that people were renting the roof so that people can see the hanging like through the wall.
That's kind of grim though, isn't it?
Yes, I wouldn't pay for that, but...
The history within the now abandoned halls of the jail is long and complicated, much like the relationship the province has with the rest of Canada.
I think we're really different from other provinces in Canada and in the world because of our culture and our language. It makes Quebec really unique. Nobody in Quebec hates the rest of the Canada. It's just that we want to be recognized as a unique culture. And I think that if we stay with Canada, it's going to be hard to keep our French because it's less wanted by young people. They really want to speak English, and it's really useful. But if we lose French, maybe we're going to lose a big part of our culture. People of my age, a lot of them want to be separate, but a lot of them don't want to. I think it always stays almost 50-50. A big country, sometimes it leads to this, because when it's big, it's really different.
I'm glad I took the time to stop by in Trois-Rivières.
Yes, I'm glad you came by too, because now you can know more about Quebec history that even some Quebecois don't even know, like the existence of this jail in the history.
The silent corridors of the old prison recall a dark chapter in the area's history. The men and women who did time here suffered, and it's important to hear their stories and learn from it. History is complicated.
Quebec for me is liberty.
After a road trip in a blizzard and a dark history lesson in Trois-Rivières, I did what any good Quebecer would do. I got myself a stiff drink.
Je m'appelle Laura-Marie Lachance et je suis gérante au restaurant La Bûche.
Her name is Laura Marie Lachance, and she is a manager of La Bûche restaurant. I was told that I needed to try a caribou drink while I was in Quebec City, and I hear that La Bûche is the place to go for that.
Well, you heard right. Normally you would drink caribou by itself, but here we actually made a great cocktail with it. We make our own sangria. So you start off with orange juice, quite simple. Continue on with a lime soda. Here we use a maple syrup lime soda. Just pour it on top. And you finish off with the famous caribou. And you try to top it off so it makes a nice color. There we go. Actually, quite simple. This is it, but it tastes amazing. You want to try it, Alex?
I do.
Go right ahead.
Great.
Cheers.
So how do I drink this? I noticed that there's the red caribou layer on top of the drink and the lighter orange juice layer on the bottom. Do I mix it first before I drink it?
Yeah, just use a straw, mix it up, and then you can taste it.
Alrighty, let's give it a try.
What do you think?
Oh wow, that's really nice.
Good,
I really
right?
like it. Yeah, it has that flavor of almost like the wine flavors from the caribou, but you
Yep.
get that citrusy from the orange juice and a bit of that. Was it maple lime?
Maple lime soda, yep.
Oh, this is really good. I could have a few of these right now. I really enjoy this. So, is this the kind of iconic drink of Quebec City?
I would say. It's very historic. The legend behind caribou is that lumberjacks of the woods would use the blood of the caribou, mix it with whiskey and spices, and that would keep them warm in the wintertime. So luckily, when we made our own brand of caribou, we swapped out the blood for wine, so no worries there. We work with this wine company from Montreal, so it's local Quebec wine, and we mix it up with some spirits, cinnamon, clove, star anise, maple syrup, white sugar, burnt orange rind, and we cook that up, and that makes our beautiful red caribou.
The moment I walked in, it kind of feels like you're almost transported back in time. It's all the stone walls, the wooden tables.
We wanted to look like a modern sugar shack. You're going to see some toboggans on the ceilings. You're going to have some logs all over the place.
So what is a sugar shack? Oh, I can't talk. Maybe I've been drinking too much of the caribou. What is a sugar shack?
So sugar shack, or in French, une cabane à sucre, is a location. So it's a house, usually on the outskirts of the city, within the woods, where you go in the springtime and you have a great feast of food, long tables, people eating all together, family style. And once you're done eating and drinking, caribou, obviously, you go outside and you actually eat maple taffy on snow. And you can normally only have maple taffy on snow at springtime at the Sugar Shack, but what's really cool here at La Bûche is that we have an ice table, and we serve maple taffy on snow every day of the year.
And what does La Bûche translate?
So La Bûche means the log, and there's this saying in French, tire-toi une bûche, so grab a log, grab a seat, come over.
Is the French language, is that more prominent here than in other parts of the province? Is it that a lot more of the residents are going to just speak French?
Throughout the province of Quebec, it's mostly French. You do have Montreal, which is very bilingual, and then the rest of Canada obviously is English. But yeah, a lot of French is spoken here in Quebec.
And what would you say is the biggest difference between Quebec City and another place like Montreal?
I feel Quebec City is more of a smaller city, and a lot of people know each other. It's like a very big village, and that's what I like. It's a small, big city.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious though, how many of these caribous do people normally drink? Because I barely put a dent in it and I'm already feeling the effects.
Usually they're going to have 1 or 2 sangrias. We also serve it by the glass, so 5 ounces, like a glass of regular glass of wine. People have 1 or 2. It is 17%, so a little bit more than a regular glass of wine. So maybe take a little bit easy, but you're here to have fun, so no one's judging.
That's why it's so good. It's
There you go.
17% alcohol. Jessie was right when she warned me only to have 1 caribou drink. It was delicious, and I'm a little relieved to know that I didn't have to drink actual caribou blood. Laura Marie offered me a taste of their maple taffy before heading out, and I thought I better put my drink down while I can still appreciate all of my senses.
So here is our world famous ice machine where we can actually have maple taffy any time of the year. So let me grab my maple syrup. So I'm just pouring the taffy on the ice. And we actually have to let it sit just a little bit because it has to harden.
The taffy you put down, is that just maple syrup?
Yeah, it's cooked maple syrup.
Okay.
That's basically what it is.
Laura, is the maple taffy ready? It's been sitting on the ice.
It has been sitting for quite a while now, so I think it is ready for you to try it.
Okay, so I have a giant popsicle stick. What do I do?
You just put it in perpendicular.
Okay.
Let it stick to the stick actually for a little while, and then
Start
you roll
rolling?
it. Yeah,
All right.
there you
yeah.
go.
It's coming up.
Like a real pro, Alex. Awesome. Now you can enjoy it.
I've been waiting 28 years to try this. Here's my opportunity.
How are you liking it?
Oh, it's amazing.
Good, right?
You can tell it is real maple syrup, that true maple flavor. I see why people rave about this.
There you go. Quebec to me means home.
It's not the first time that I've heard Quebec is home to some of the people on my journey, and I'm beginning to see why. Postcards from Quebec will return. This is Postcards from Quebec. The caribou drink was the perfect nightcap to a long day. and the maple taffy was a great bedtime snack. After sleeping like a log, I was ready to face another day of freezing temperatures. And I was very excited to experience Quebec City through an accessible touch and feel tour designed especially for the blind and partially sighted.
Je m'appelle Jessie Archambault et je suis le propriétaire de Tour Accolade.
His name is Jessie Archambault and he is the owner of Tour Accolade.
Here, Alex, we're at the monument dedicated to the conferences of Quebec. So that was during World War II, of course. You can see and you can touch the face of Roosevelt, FDR.
Yes.
So feel free to touch the nose and you'll see the shape of his face. Of course, it's not the real size of the head. You'll feel the head is too big.
It's probably about 3 or 4 times larger bronze head of Roosevelt.
Twice bigger at least. So you can touch the nose, you have the eyes, the eyebrows, feel a little bit the mouth, so he's not smiling.
Well, it's a very serious meeting.
Yeah, it is, indeed.
So D-Day was planned in Quebec City.
Yeah.
Arguably the largest military operation in history.
Well, one of the largest, definitely. Yeah, and we had the nearby Quebec City bunkers to protect the city from U-boats, from German U-boats. Okay. Because we know that in 1942 and later you had German U-boats on the St. Lawrence Gulf.
For the next monument, I decided to feel and then look. And you got the big round bald head, the stout nose, the round cheeks. Yeah, they definitely captured Churchill.
Exactly, but no cigars.
What really makes this monument stand out, I had the opportunity to walk the beaches of both Normandy and Juno Beach and really see the impact of D-Day and that operation. And so standing here, knowing that they planned that invasion in Quebec City really adds a whole new element I wasn't expecting. Are those church bells I hear?
Exactly, that's the bells of the Catholic Cathedral, which is also a basilica. There is much more to hear and listen in Quebec City. Of course, you have the cars, but you also have the horses of the horse carriages.
So it's a lot of action going on in old Quebec then.
Always, yeah.
And I do notice with the cobblestone streets, the cars produce a bit of a different sound than they normally would. I love just taking it all in and just kind of closing my eyes for a second and just hearing the environment around me. Xavier introduced me to a unique way to sense how large something is.
So here, Alex, we're on the edge of the Chateau Frontenac, the famous hotel of Quebec City. So we're on one side. We're going to walk on the other side of the hotel, and with your legs, with your muscle, you'll feel how huge that hotel is.
Sense the width of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I am. Let's go.
Let's go.
Feeling my muscles work after walking the length of the Frontenac, I got creative and added my own spin to the tour. Hey Xavier, I found a way to incorporate taste into the tour.
Good idea, Alex. Now you can feel the snowflakes melting on your tongue.
The St. Lawrence River was the perfect resting place to warm up with a drink and to learn more about my new friend, who I found out is from France. We've had the opportunity to explore a bunch of the city, use a bunch of our senses, except for one, our sense of smell, which, with our maple lattes in hand, they smell so good. Is there a major difference between the French identity in Quebec and the French identity in Europe?
It's a completely different way of life. That's a mistake that many French people do when they come in Quebec province. They think Quebecers, they are French people living in North America, but they are American people speaking French.
Why did you start offering accessible tours?
Well, what I really enjoy is to provide different kind of tours. And I thought, well, that could be interesting to design a tour for blind and visually impaired people. I found interesting spots I can use to then use different senses, so the touch, the hear, the smell, so and so on.
Is Quebec a accessible city for people with disabilities, or do you have to figure out a way to navigate it in an accessible manner?
I think for blind and visually impaired people, it's okay. For wheelchairs, it's definitely quite an issue, just because the city is not flat. It's very hilly, we have a cliff, so some streets are very steep. So it's quite challenging, Quebec City, but with a good guide you can manage to find a good itinerary.
A good guy like yourself.
Of course. So next time, come during the summer, there is much more to experience, especially for sounds and smell.
Well, I'll certainly have to take you up on that.
Quebec to me is a fascinating history.
Quebec City is one of the oldest cities in Canada. The word Quebec comes from the Algonquin word for narrowing river, which refers to the St. Lawrence River that flows next to the city. Founded in 1608 by Samuel de Champlain, it was the first permanent French settlement in Canada. It remained as a hub of New France until the end of the 7 Years' War in 1759, when British forces defeated the French troops at the Plains of Abraham, and the French colony in the region fell under British rule. While the Plains of Abraham once held the decisive battle between the British and French, today it serves as an expansive park where locals take advantage of the vast trails for outdoor activities like cross-country skiing. Quebec City is beautiful and carries a certain European charm. The city is also known for its modern architecture, and it's not what you would expect.
Je m'appelle Marie-Ève Doyon, je suis coordonnatrice aux relations médias pour l'hôtel de glace du village vacances Valcartier.
Her name is Marie-Ève Doyon, and she is the media relations coordinator for Ice Hotel of Vacation Village Valcartier.
So welcome to the Ice Bar of Ice Hotel. Have you ever heard about it before you came here?
I've heard about it and I dreamt about coming here. This is such a cool place to be. I'm glad I'm finally here to experience it all in person.
Well, we're glad to have you over. So every year, people like you will come and visit Hotel de Glace. About 100,000 people will come every year. We have people coming year after year after year because the theme is always different. So you can visit a different hotel every time. And we also have very nice drinks at Hotel de Glace.
And so, speaking of the drinks in front of us, what do we have?
We are offering you a Ski-Doo Accident. It's a drink that's a themed drink, of course, a winter themed drink. And it's been constructed with some gin that is yellow. It's Angova gin. And then we have melon liquor that's making it green. We put a bit of a spruce pops drink in it. And then a spruce branch, because you're going to hit a tree with your Ski-Doo, sadly. And you might get a bloody nose, or there's a bit of a red grenadine inside of it. It tastes a lot like a tree branch. Would you like to try it?
Sure.
I have no alcohol in my drink. It is, it's starting to freeze. I need to go fast with it. So it's pineapple with the grenadine as well.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, that is very nice. You're immediately hit with that melon liqueur and that spruce and that gin. That's really nice. But the most interesting thing about it, it's a glass made of ice. I've never experienced that before, and that's taking a bar drink to a whole new level.
It's very cool. So the square glasses we're using are all handmade here. We use a drill and we drill a hole into the squares of ice.
How long does this area take to construct?
Well, the whole Hotel de Glace will take between 35 and 40 days to construct, with 40 men working on it. Then we're going to bring in some sculptors that are going to do the carvings in every single block of ice that you see around you. So it takes hours and hours.
It's not surprising that it took this much work to create all the details of the Ice Hotel. As you enter the front doors, you are greeted by a crystal-like chandelier hanging from the ceiling. Venturing further down the halls that connect the hotel, you will find intricate sculptures throughout, including a life-sized horse, mermaid, and snowy owl. Many of the rooms are themed, so the detailed wall carvings match the decor. In the heart of the hotel, a large circular bar offers a unique spot to grab a drink, relax by the fire, or hit the dance floor. Another major highlight is the chapel. Incorporating a Scandinavian design, the functioning chapel features Nordic-inspired wall carvings and rows of pelt-covered pews for guests to sit. But sadly, all good things eventually come to an end. You put all this effort and work into it every single year. What happens at the end of the season?
Well, by the end of March, we're going to sadly use some machinery and collapse the whole thing. So it takes about 40 days to build and 5 hours to collapse.
And why do you think that Quebecers embrace that cold weather?
Well, winter is part of what Quebec is. So every year, from the creation of, or the foundation of Quebec as a city, every year the city gets stuck in ice. So better make fun of it and better get creative with it. There's Winter Carnival in Quebec as well. So we like to play, and we're very ingenious people. So we like to find ways to make things more attractive and enjoy it while you can.
I'm interested to find out what your perspective is on Quebec as a province and how it fits within the rest of the country.
Most definitely, Quebec is a distinct society. Many people in Quebec will tell you that. What Quebec has to bring to Canada is distinct flavor. The fact that we're most European, we're less North American than some would be because of the French culture we have, because of the fact also that our food is going to be a bit different than what else you're going to find in Canada. And we do bring our own flavor to the Canadian family of provinces.
Well, I'll drink to that, so cheers to Quebec's future.
Oh, thank you. I'll drink to that too.
Curious how guests stay warm at the hotel? I needed to take a closer look at one of their rooms. Where are we currently?
We're actually in one of the theme rooms of Hotel de Glace. We have 42 rooms, but 17 of those are carved and sculpted. So the one we're standing in has sculptures of bees and apple trees and apple flowers because the theme of this room is the apple honey room.
Now we have a fireplace behind us, but during the night, how do people stay warm when they're sleeping in the ice hotel?
A few of our rooms do have fireplaces, but these fireplaces will not create heat in your room. Otherwise, the Hotel de Glace would probably melt. So the only thing it makes warm is your heart, as we say in here. People will go to use a jacuzzi and then a sauna that get their body heat as high as possible. And then they're going to change into dry clothes and slip into subpolar sleeping bags that are going to keep them really warm for the night.
So they bundle up and sleep in the sleeping bag, and that's how they survive the night in the ice hotel. Or, sorry, they enjoy the night
in the Hotel de Glace. Absolutely. So once you're warm, your sleeping bag is not going to warm you up. So you need to warm up the sleeping bag with your body temp. Once your body temp is way high, you slip into a polar fleece sheet, then your sleeping bag, and you're going to enjoy one of the best nights of your life.
Marie Ebb took me to the top of their famous ice slide, thinking the activity might warm me up before bedtime. The bright glowing lights and shiny ice was beautiful, and it was pretty fun. Whee! I may have gone down it more than once. Now, feeling warm-ish, this is me, stripping down to my long underwear, wrapping myself up like a cocoon, and hoping for the best in this magical ice castle. I almost feel like I'm in a fairy tale. Good night and bonne nuit.
Quebec to me is imagination.
More to come on Postcards from Quebec. Welcome back to Postcards from Quebec. In the cold, blistery morning on Quebec's harbor, something disturbs its natural sound.
Je m'appelle Pascal Bouchard, je suis guide de pêche au village nordique.
His name is Pascal Bouchard, and he is a fishing guide at Village Nordique. To my delight, my next adventure is inside an inflatable, slightly heated igloo. Pascal drilled the hole with his auger, and now he's ready to teach me how to ice fish for my very first time.
So ice fishing rod are smaller than in the summer.
It's only about 50 centimeters long, so is it just because of the distance from the hole that we are?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we got a worm, we're gonna use as a bait, just to hide my hook a little bit. And it's set.
Okay, thank you.
So how it works, to put your line down, you have a metal bar. You just push it the other side.
Okay.
And we unlock the reel, so the lines is going down.
So I'm just gonna line the worm over the hole.
Yeah.
I'm gonna flip over the metal latch on the reel, let the line drop.
And ice fishing is patience.
And so what type of fish can be caught here?
Naturally, we got pike,
Okay.
walleye, yellow perch, the speckled trout.
Okay.
So they're landlocked here in the winter.
And so what's your favorite part about ice fishing?
Caught a fish? No, it's to be with people, families, have fun. Even we got no fish. It's like just to go outside, have fun. A place we got no TVs, no phone, just people to talk to. When we got fish, everyone get excited. So
I was so excited to have a bite on my line, only to pull up seaweed. But Pascal had some wisdom to pass on.
sometime, Alex, you just have to talk to the fish. Sometime a little song, a poem, anything you have in mind to just connect with it.
Okay, and that'll hopefully help them bite.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm willing to try anything at this point, so. Here, fishy, fishy, fishy. Come out, you know you want your worm.
I'm sure you have more. If you want every fish, come here.
I gotta keep singing.
Yeah.
Out of the cold water, you must go into my stomach, so I feel full. Come please, dear fishy, I am so
Perfect.
hungry for lunch today. How was that?
Perfect.
I guess I need to work on my song because I didn't catch a fish. A little embarrassing. But Pascal brought me to the kiddie spot where they stock fish in a small enclosure under the ice.
Oh, you're on? Come on, reel.
Real?
You got one? Yeah.
Oh!
Come on.
Oh, geez.
Just keep
There we go.
a small trout.
It wasn't the biggest fish in the river, or even big enough to cook, but it gave me an excuse to head indoors and order a catch of the day. Local chef Alexandra Raymond prepared some trout for us by stuffing it with lemon and poaching it in water.
Look really good.
See, it smells amazing. Just even getting the sense of the lemon. I just want to dig into this. Oh wow,
Very soft, tender.
that is very nice because you get that nice flavor of the lemon that just complements the fish so well. See, I'm starting to understand why you ice fish. You know, this is the reward afterward.
Yeah, even though we didn't catch this fish, it's nice to know that it came from just here in the basin, connect to the St. Lawrence.
For someone who hasn't traveled to Quebec City, what would you tell them to entice them to visit?
Yeah, start with the whole downtown of Quebec, and after that you can explore, open your circle, and see the other activities, like ice fishing here in Blainville.
Absolutely. I've learned something today, that catching fish through a small hole in the ice is delicious.
Yeah, not that easy, but
Not easy, but the reward, the payoff is worth it.
yeah.
Ice fishing on a harbor in the middle of the city is a pretty unique way to end my journey. Like many born and raised in Quebec, Pascal has a strong connection to his province.
Quebec to me is my roots.
Quebecers are a hardy breed. They latch onto their culture, they embrace their winters, and they're passionate about their food, making it their way. If you seek to learn about Quebec, the real Quebec, it's only possible when you meet and get to know the people and hear what they have to say. I can't blame them for loving their province. I have to say, I love it too. The province is complex. The people realize it faces unique challenges surrounding its identity, independence, language, and place within Canada. Quebecers are united, and they love Canada too. They just want us to know that they're different. Quebec is like a puzzle piece, each person a mosaic that forms its greater identity. It's so distinct from its surroundings, and yet it fits beautifully within Canada. Quebec to me is la belle province, the beautiful province. Host, Alex Smyth. Producer, Rebecca Campbell. Videographers, Patrick Kelly, Jim Devlin. Integrated Described Video Specialist, Simone Cupid. Editor, Patrick Kelly. Audio Post, Mark Phoenix. Graphics, Andrew Antonello. Post-Production Supervisor, Janice Civitilli. Senior Producer, Michelle Dudas. President and CEO, David Arrington. Copyright 2019 Accessible Media Inc.